Oh, absolutely. This is where the stadium air gets heavy and your heartbeat starts doing sprints. But you're right, it's the best bit, that sweet spot where you stop thinking and just feel every touch like it's destiny.
Austria's priced like the heavy favorite, but that ask wall is enormous. Over 6.3 AM on the sell side, so upside looks capped unless a real catalyst shows up. Meanwhile, you've got chunky, bearish Austria flow at much lower averages, which feels like smart.
Here we go. This is that last deep breath before the plunge when boots are bouncing and minds are racing. With Rangnick prowling the touchline, you just know the press is coming like a swarm. Buckle up, kickoff's about to light the fuse. That's the calm before the storm. One last shake of the shoulders, and then it's chaos with purpose. Rangnick will have them hunting in packs, snapping into that press like a mousetrap. You can feel the tension crackling as kickoff creeps closer. You can almost hear the crowd holding its breath. This is where routines end and instincts take over. Rangnick's teams don't stroll. They sprint into that press like it's a stock sell-off, and once the whistle goes, it's full throttle.
Not much changed on price, but Austria bid depth just thinned while that massive sell wall barely budged. Classic favorite can't break through tape. Jordan's ask depth actually grew, so the long shot money isn't getting brave. This still feels like a grind, not a...
And now it goes quiet in that powerful way. Everyone on their feet, eyes forward, the anthem rolling through the stands like a wave. Austria's voices rise, and you can feel the pride tightening the chest before the whistle even thinks about blowing. The noise drops to a hush, and it's goosebumps time. Anthem moments hit different, don't they? Austria standing tall, the melody echoing around the bowl, and you just know the next sound after this is going to be pure football thunder. Hold everything. This is the ceremonial pause, the stadium turning into one big heartbeat. Austria's anthem rings out, scarves up, chins lifted, and when it ends, that roar will come back like a tidal wave.
Now we're finally seeing that Austria's sell-side wall get chipped, asks down from the mid-6 Miller range to about 5.8 mem, and the top ask stack 0.71 is lighter too. Price hasn't moved yet, but this is like the favorite pinning the underdog back. If
that final word lands and you can feel the anthem's last note hanging in the air for a split second, then the murmurs start to swell again. It's like the stadium's inhaled, and now it's ready to exhale football. That's the anthem's punctuation mark, sharp, proud, and it echoes off the concrete like a drum beat. Now watch the volume creep back up. The match energy is bubbling and it's about to boil over. And that's the last syllable, clean as a whistle, and the crowd holds it for a heartbeat. Now the sound comes rushing back in like someone's opened the floodgates. We're ready for kickoff drama.
Austria's still stuck at 0.69, 0.70, and you can see why. That 0.71 supply keeps reloading around 2.95 M shares, like defenders stepping up every time you try to play through. Bids are steady to slightly better, but until that wall actually breaks, this is more possession than goal.
Ah, you're too kind. Anthem moments are sacred. They make the hairs on your arms stand up. Now let's get back to the action, because after that kind of build-up, the football's got to match the emotion. IMO, Austria versus Jordan, big first step vibes toward knockouts. Give us a quick market style take. Who's the blue chip here? Who's the risky underdog? And what's the upset trade look like?
Totally Leo. Austria's the blue chip, priced like a top seed, but you're paying up and fighting that sell wall overhead. Jordan's the penny stock with headline risk. The upset trade is nibbling Jordan or the draw cheap and letting chaos do the compound.
Austria stepping up like a heavyweight, looking to plant that first flag on the road to the knockouts. No messing about, but Jordan, the debutantes, they've got that fearless sparkle, and that's exactly how upsets are born.
Austria bids just got some muscle, depth back over 1.8 on Mayim, while the sells...
Oof! Early yellow. Someone's left a little stamp on the opening chapter and the referee's not in the mood for poetry. That early booking sets the tone. One more rash lunge and you're walking a tightrope out there. Austria look like they've waited 28 years to exhale, and Jordan are playing with that debutante adrenaline. This has got edge already. That's the invitation, isn't it? Grab your seat and don't blink, because this one's got that anything can happen feel. If you're watching like Josh, I hope Josh has strong nerves because the tempo's starting to simmer. Ha! That's a tidy little 1-2-2 croissants and a 2% return. That's efficiency football in the bakery aisle. IMO would call it value per bite. I call it a smart counterattack at the till. IMO, they're pitching unlimited 2% cash back like it's a tap-in. Give us the quick market take. Is that real value or just glossy ad dribbling?
Yeah, Leo, unlimited 2% is a clean headline, but the real game is in the fine print. Fees, caps by another name, and where they make it back on interchange or interest. It's value if you're a disciplined spender. Otherwise, it's fancy footwork to... That's a big regime change. Austria's ass depth just collapsed to about 2.0 m, and the top offer slid down to 7.0, so the ceiling is suddenly right on the price. But liquidity on draw in Jordan thinned hard. This market's getting jumpy, and any real shove...
And here we go. Fresh chapter of history. Two flags that have never shared a pitch, now staring each other down under those lights. Cooler air, hot hearts, and Austria stepping back onto the grand stage. You can almost hear the nerves crackling.
Austria's still pinned 80.69, 0.70, but with that offer stack now concentrated right 80.73, one decent buy wave can pop it like a set-piece goal. Meanwhile, draw's bid depth is fading and Jordan's book is thin. Less cushion, more whiplash.
Austria's got that seasoned spine, Alaba marshalling like a general, Lamer buzzing box to box, and you can feel the leadership oozing out of them. But losing Baumgartner late is a gut punch. Now the likes of Schmid and Sabitzer have to turn pain into... History on the line tonight. Two nations finally locking horns, and you can feel the curiosity in the air like static. The temperature's dipped, but the stakes are boiling, and Austria are back at the World Cup party with something to prove. Kalajic up top gives Austria that big target like a lighthouse in the box, just begging for crosses and chaos. And Jordan arriving with recent finals pedigree, that's not tourists' form, that's a team that knows how to scrap deep into tournaments. Kalajic leading the line, towering presence, a real aim here sign for every Austrian delivery into the area. And Jordan, runners-up in big regional finals, they've got that hardened edge. This won't be a gentle welcome, it'll be a proper...
Austria's offer wall is still shrinking, ass depth under 2.0 m now, so the favorites looking more like a team camped in the final third, just waiting for the breakthrough. But Jordan's bid support is drying up, so if the upset narrative fades, that price can drop through the floor.
IMO, Jordan's got a real emerging market vibe tonight. Al Tamari, the blue chip asset, Alwan, the high yield striker. Give us your quick take. Undervalued disruptors or bubble about to burst against Austria's established giants?
Love that comp, Leo. Jordan's priced like a cheap call option, limited belief, but it can rip if they land one clean counter. The problem is the book's thin on support, so if Austria controls tempo, that disruptor story deflates fast.
Jordan stepping onto the biggest stage for the first time, nerves, pride, the whole cocktail, and Austria's press is going to come at them like a wave that doesn't stop. If they ride that first 10 minutes, settle the heartbeat, they've got a chance to grow into it. Here we go. Austria back on the grandest stage after an age, and you can almost hear a whole generation exhaling at once. And Jordan, wide-eyed but fearless, stepping into the spotlight for the first time. This has got drama written all over it before a ball's even kicked. Austria want to pin Jordan back straight away. Alaba dictating, the Bundesliga rhythm humming, and Kalajic as the battering ram up front. Jordan's got to keep their shape tight because one loose touch and Austria will swarm like bees around honey. Leinhardt's got that long throw look in his eyes like a human catapult warming up, and Jordan's box is already bracing for impact. Austria are turning the screw early, trying to make it ugly and dangerous in the air.
Order book just went full chaos. Austria ticks up to 0.70, 0.71, but depth evaporated across all outcomes. And weird top levels show 0.01 bid, 0.92 ask, looks like liquidity pulled and spoofy ladders. Feels
Absolutely, Amo. This market's doing the football equivalent of a panicked backline stepping up with nobody covering. When liquidity vanishes like that, one big chance or a VAR moment can blow the price open in a heartbeat. Oof, that's a warning shot. Jordan just sprang like a trap door and suddenly Austria are scrambling back toward their own goal. One nick off the studs and it's chaos because that counter has teeth and it's biting early.
This is a liquidity air pocket. Austria is still the favorite on price, but depth has evaporated and the top bid showing at 0.01 screams no real support if sellers hit. It's like a team pressing high with nobody covering. One turnover and you...
Abu Layla with the emergency punch, no messing about, just get it out of the danger zone, and Jordan instantly flipped the switch, surging forward behind Altlari like he's towing the whole team on a rope. You can see the shape snapping shut, Jordan sink into that compact block, then spring out like a coiled wire when the moment's right. Altamari on the right is the live one, hovering between lines, waiting to pounce.
We're seeing the same story. Prices look stable, but the real bids are basically missing. Draw even has its top bid down at 0.01. That's a ghost book. In this setup, any headline or goal is a breakaway. Spreads won't protect you.
That's the trade-off, isn't it? Austria pushed the fullbacks up like wingers and suddenly the back doors left ajar. With Altamari pulling strings and Al-Wahab stretching the line, one clean turnover and it's a foot race Austria might not fancy. Jordan are locking it down again, that block sliding into place like a steel shutter, just daring Austria to overcommit, and with Altamari lurking on that right side, one loose pass and he's off like a greyhound. That's a big crossroads moment for Schlager. 4 years, and now the next shirt is a mystery. IMO will tell you it's like a free agent stock. Value spikes with uncertainty, but the next move has to fit the system. You can feel the Jordanian end rumbling. Every little break forward has them on their feet, sniffing an opening. And that Austrian utility man, he's a Swiss Army knife. Press, fullback 10, wherever he pops up, he changes the picture in a heartbeat.
Austria is still holding 70%, but now the sell side is thinning fast. Ask depth down near 230k, so a little buy pressure can squeeze this up like a late corner kick scramble. Flip side, Jordan's bid depth is tiny, so any panic there turns into a trapdoor.
Austria are trying to stitch it together now. Little triangles, probing passes, patient, but you can sense they want to turn the screw. They'll have more of it, sure, but Jordan are sitting there like a trapdoor waiting for one sloppy touch.
Now the tone flips. Austria's ask wall just ballooned to nearly 580k while someone's trimming a big long AT0.70. Classic protect the lead behavior. Jordan's book looks even more fragile with that top bid down 80.03. So
Jordan are leaving that outlet high, and if they can actually stick the first pass, suddenly the whole stadium tilts their way. Altamari's got that street football swagger. Austria can't blink because Kalajic is waiting to punish any hesitation at the other end. Kalajic is a skyscraper up top, and you can see defenders checking the rear view mirror every time the ball goes wide. And now Schlager's in a tangle. Austria just trying to steady the ship through Zivaz and Lehart, keep the rhythm before it turns frantic. What a picture that is. Sahara meets the Atlantic, and right now he's the tide in the middle, pulling everything toward him. Ulan spreads it left with a lovely switch, and even with the 9 lurking down there, the shape stays stubbornly the same. Jordan are hunting in packs here, press, pounce, and the moment they win it, you can feel the crowd inhale. It's straight line football with a purpose. One quick pass, then bang, they're sprinting into space like they've been released from a slingshot. Jordan are built for that ambush, snap into the press, nick it, and suddenly it's a runway in front of them. They don't mess about with pretty triangles. It's one sharp ball forward and bodies flying past you like a fast break in basketball. You can see Jordan's trigger the second they smell a loose touch. Press like a vice, then explode forward. It's pure counterpunching. Win it, hit it early, and suddenly Austria are backpedaling with alarms ringing. IMO, Jordan's playing like a high-growth stock. Press, win it, then straight into a rapid breakout. Any quick market analogy for this kind of momentum swing when a team senses weakness?
Absolutely, this is pure momentum tape. Once the favorite's liquidity thins, Jordan smells it, and you get a gamma-style chase where every uptick forces more buying. It's like a counterattack after a sloppy back pass, one touch, and suddenly the whole market...
Wallen trying to tease the lock, but Lienhardt stands him up, and suddenly it's recycled all the way back to Schläger. Reset button pressed. And hey, if he's lost the goal, someone point him toward it, because Jordan's story in this tournament is too... Altamari's on the hunt, and Posch has to get a touch on it. Danger averted, but only just. Then Austria try to stitch it together through Kalajic, and you can feel Baumgartner hovering like a shark, waiting for the next loose pass.
Austria's back to looking healthier. Ask depth collapsed from that big wall, so the upside is clearer if buyers keep leaning on 0.73. But that top bid at 0.01 is still a cardboard cutout, so if sentiment turns, the floor drops out fast.
Schmitz and Brighton are clicking like they've got the same remote control. One touch, the other already moving. It's almost unfair. Shirley just glides into that little pocket, and suddenly the tempo lifts, those forward runs starting to bite. Goal kick, but that left side is still a launch pad. Mbeen's got permission to fly, even if he's got a defender's brain. Leimer nips it in, and that's the warning siren for Jordan. Switch off for a second, and Austria will sneak in behind you. Goal kick given, but Mbeen's still prowling up that flank like he's got a green light on his boots. Leimer slides it back in, and Jordan cannot blink here. One sleepy step, and Austria will turn that pressure into a punch. Another goal kick, but don't let that fool you. Mbeen's still edging higher and higher like a fullback with a winger's appetite. Leimer's delivery is the kind that punishes daydreaming, and Jordan have to stay switched on every single second.
That's a real shift. Austria bid depth just surged while the ask stack shrank, so buyers are finally showing up with some muscle. 80.70. Jordan's bid side is basically empty now, so it's a one-way book, easy to push around, hard to trust.
IMO, Austria are pressing like a market sell-off. Relentless and instant. Quick take, how do teams hedge against that kind of pressure when they finally win the ball?
Totally. When you finally win it, you hedge by taking the safe outlet pass first, not the hero ball through the middle. In market terms, de-risk, reset liquidity, then pick your spot for the counter instead of forcing a thin trade.
Austria pressing like a high-frequency trading desk. Rangnick's Gegan pressing, squeezing Jordan instantly. Give us a quick market analogy. How do teams cope when the press spikes like volatility?
Exactly. When vol spikes, you don't trade faster, you trade cleaner. One-touch exits, wider spacing, and don't get trapped on the touchline. It's like widening your spreads and waiting for the first wave to pass before you re-enter.
Lemur snapping in, maybe a touch too eager. Those are the ones that feel harsh when the whistle goes, but Jordan have to keep their heads. Austria are hunting in packs the moment it turns over, so when Jordan win it, they've got to play with purpose, not panic. They're winding up from range now, just pumping it forward and asking questions. Jordan can't let those second balls bounce kindly. And you've got names like Zabita and Zadarovic with a bit of history here, but it's Salami who looks ready to spark something. They're having a pop from distance again, just pumping it in and hoping for a ricochet. Jordan have to win that first contact. Zabita and Zadarovic might not have loads of caps, but they know the rhythm here. And Salami's lurking like he fancies a moment. Salami's story has got that World Cup sting to it. 3 minutes, one taste, and it lingers like a bad tackle you never quite forget. And now Morocco on the horizon again on Friday. Yeah, you can feel the emotion bubbling under the surface, can't you?
Austria just took a hit. Price slips to 0.68 and 0.69, and that 0.70 ask wall is thick, so upside momentum's getting capped. Meanwhile, draw and Jordan asks are still massive at the highs, which screams nobody believes the comeback, but it also means any shock.
Austria might see more of it, but they're really waiting to pounce the second it breaks. Those transition traps are everywhere. Kalajic is finding pockets, and Alaba's just had a swing that didn't quite sing, but the pressure's starting to hum. Oh, that delivery's got to be better. Wasted territory, and you can hear the groan in the stands. But Kalajic is still a menace in the middle. One decent ball, and it's panic stations for Jordan. Kalajic's got that old midfielder's touch for a big man, doesn't he? Soft feet, clever angles, trying to carve out a corner like a sculptor. But the officials are having a little conference with their flags up, and you know that usually means someone's about to be disappointed. That left side is Austria's highway right now, and Bayani snapping into everything, even on his wrong flank, and it's making them unpredictable. With Sabitzer and Leinhardt buzzing around him, it suddenly looks slicker, like the handbrakes come off. Absolutely, that left channel is Austria's escape hatch and their weapon. Mbayani is playing like he's got a point to prove, snapping and driving even on the wrong side. With Sabitzer and Leinhardt combining, it suddenly got rhythm and bite. Still feeling each other out, but that move had a little spark. Ali Olawan trying to light the fuse with support arriving on cue. Abu Taha was hovering like a shark, and Nasib comes crashing in to remind everyone this won't be a friendly. You can sense the tempo building. Ali Olawan nudges it forward, and suddenly there's company, bodies arriving with intent. Abu Taha's lurking in the danger zone, and Nasib flies in with a challenge that says, "Not today, mate." Early days, but that was a proper little warning shot. Ali Olawan draws the help in, and Abu Taha's sniffing around the box like he fancies it. Then Nasib steps in with a crunching challenge to slam the door shut. Imo, Arnautovic potentially benched with that knee niggle. Big name risk management moment. Give us the portfolio take. Do you start your blue chip at 80% or back the informed growth stock like Kalajdzic?
Yeah, that's classic portfolio math. An 80% blue chip can still blow up your downside if it can't move, so you size it smaller or keep it on the bench as optionality. Ride the informed growth starter and bring the star on only when the game state de-risks.
Kalajdzic gives you far more than height. He's a chess player in a target man's body, slipping little passes that hurt you. And Arnautovic at 37 with a dodgy knee in a press-heavy game, that's like buying a sports car with the handbrake half on. He might be ready, but in this Austrian press, you need lungs and legs, not just reputation. Arnautovic at 37 with a niggle is a risky roll of the dice. And that bit of sausage line, brilliant, because if he comes on, it's for a sharp cameo. Austria have been soaking it up, but you can feel them starting to bite back now. Zabisa and Rossi throwing their weight around, winning those bruising duels, and then Kalajdzic nearly makes it count. One clean touch, and that's panic stations. That's the worry. When they reach the final third, it's like the handbrake goes on and they retreat faster than they attack. Nice little link up though, Kalajdzic trying to tee up Sabitzer and then Leinhardt, but they've got to turn and hurt them. Jordan are showing those little sparks. Ali Owan and Tamari pick it up and you can hear the tempo jump like someone's flicked a switch, but Austria's press with Schlager snapping in is squeezing the life out of it, forcing them back to their keeper. You're spot on. Jordan get that first touch and suddenly it's fireworks. Olwan and Tamari bursting forward like they've been released from a leash, but Austria, led by Schlager, are hunting in packs and shoving them back toward Alexander Schlager before it can breathe. Exactly. Once they hit that danger zone, it's like they get cold feet and the ball starts running home instead of forward. Kalajdzic trying to set the table for Sabitzer and Leinhardt is the right idea, but someone's got to take responsibility and drive at them. Zayvade and Leinhardt trying to stitch it together. Kalajdzic hovering like a big target in the box, but Abunati says not tonight, no risks, just gets it dealt with. And for an American-born lad on a stage like this, you can bet the nerves are buzzing.
Whoa, Austria is still priced like the favorite, but the bid depth just fell off a cliff. That's a liquidity vacuum, not confidence. In that setup, one bad headline or a Jordan chance is like a counterattack into open space. Prices can gap fast.
We've got a set piece brewing for Austria after an offside tangle. Feels rehearsed. Any quick market analogy for a team cashing in on dead ball situations under pressure?
Absolutely. Set pieces are like scheduled earnings. You can be under siege all quarter, but one well-drilled release can re-rate the whole story instantly. When open play is messy, that's your high probability catalyst to steal a goal and calm the tape. Austria's drifting again, 0.66, 0.67, with ask depth ballooning, so it's heavy overhead supply, and the market's basically saying, prove it. Draw is inching up, and with bids still thin, any missed set piece is a quick momentum swing the other way.
Sabitzer's over it, weighing up the menu, and you can smell the training ground routine from here. He goes for the switch, but Romano Schmid gets a bit greedy with it, too ambitious, and the move fizzles before it can bite.
Now we've got a bit of a bid rebuild under Austria. Depth jumps back up, so the floor looks sturdier, 80.66, even if the price isn't lifting. But that ask side is still a packed stadium of sellers, so it's grinded out football. You need a clean catalyst to break through.
We've got a flashpoint brewing, players furious after a dangerous-looking cross, and a wild reaction from Schmid, crowds up, tempers rising. Give us your market volatility take. Who's losing composure, and what's the risk of a costly mistake?
Tempers rising is pure volatility regime shift. One rash tackle is a red card fat finger that reprices everything instantly. Crowd noise is like leverage. It amplifies momentum, and the team that stays disciplined is basically the low vol winner.
Spot on, Amo. This game's trading in a high vol band right now, and one hot-headed lunge is a market halt in boots. The crowd's pumping the price action, but the calm heads will cash in when the chaos peaks. Pulled back to Kalajic, and Sabitzer's shaping up like he's about to unload. Crowd holds its breath. But Lima flies in, slams the door, and that danger evaporates in a heartbeat. Austria strike first, Schmid finishes after that probing move, and you can feel the momentum swing instantly. Give us the market analogy. How does a goal like this...
That's a clean upside surprise, like a company beating earnings and guiding higher, so the whole curve reprices in seconds. Shorts scramble to cover, liquidity vanishes on the offer, and suddenly everyone's paying up because the game state just flipped.
Goal Austria. Schmid talks the talk and buries it. Momentum swing like a breakout candle. Give us the market analogy. What happens to sentiment after a strike like that?
Exactly. Once that hits the net, sentiment flips from hope to confirmation, like a breakout that finally gets follow-through. The late sellers turn into panicked buyers, and the crowd trades momentum hard until the next big chance cools it down.
Austria strike first with a beauty. Momentum swing like a breakout candle. How do you see Jordan reacting under this pressure? Risk on or panic sell? Nick.
That goal forces Jordan into risk-on mode. Higher press, more bodies forward, like a beaten stock trying to claw back with a volatile bounce. But the danger is the panic sell moment. One sloppy turnover and Austria's got the easy count.
Oh, that touches hydration break, but Austria's still sipping on that momentum. What a strike to light this up in the Bay. 1-0 and Jordan have to regroup fast because that goal has changed the temperature of the whole match. He'll replay that one in his head for the rest of his life. Pure postcard football in the build-up, every touch with a bit of swagger. And Schmidt still had work to do, but he made it look like the simplest thing in the world. Oh, that's a warning flare for Austria. Near post run, a little pocket of space, and suddenly it's chaos in the 6-yard box. Off the bar and hearts and mouths. One more clean contact there, and we're talking about a very different scoreline. Midway through the first half, and you can feel the game settling into that cooler evening rhythm, but don't be fooled. That scare has Austria looking over their shoulder. This next spell is huge. Jordan sniffing, Austria trying to steady the
Austria's been repriced like a goal just hit the tape. 0.67, two-way, state 5 is a straight momentum chase. But notice the book. Heavy offers still sitting there, so upside gets tougher from here unless Jordan shows real collapse. Otherwise, it's a classic. Buy the breakout.
IMO, Menace Mobile with evil pricing. Tell me that's not just the telecom sector's entire business model. Give us the market take. Is confusion basically a moat now?
You're not wrong. Confusion is the telecom moat, like a playbook written in fine print. In markets, complexity can be pricing power until a regulator or a clean disruptor shows up and turns it into a red card.
That's a proper heel turn promo. Menace Mobile sounds like a club sponsor that gets booed before kickoff. $30 a line is a bargain, but calling everyone traitors for taking it, that's peak football banter in telecom form. That's the kind of ad break that tries to press high. $30, can you hear me now? And suddenly we're shopping mid-match. If Walmart can deliver in an hour, get the snacks in before the next big chance because this game's got another twist coming. IMO, they're joking about delivery not bringing a better goalie. Tie it to you can't outsource fundamentals like risk management. Also, quick take on these ad pitches, Verizon, Walmart, as defensive substitutions in the broadcast.
Exactly. No amount of delivery fixes a leaky backline. In markets, you can't outsource fundamentals, you hedge and you train. And those Verizon Walmart spots are pure defensive subs. Steady cash flow brands coming on to calm the crowd when the game gets chaotic.
Globe Ultra sliding in like a late tackle on the conversation. Official sponsor, and they want the spotlight. If the keeper's having a nightmare, maybe he needs one of those Ultras, though I'd rather he just catches the next cross, yeah? IMO, these sponsor plugs are coming in like ad buys at peak time. Official beer sponsor everywhere. From your angle, how big is that World Cup sponsorship money, and does it actually move the needle for a brand?
It's massive. Top-tier World Cup packages run into the tens or even hundreds of millions once you add activation, so it's not pocket change. It moves the needle more on long-term brand recall than next quarter sales, like buying home field advantage rather than a single.
AMO, sponsors are everywhere. Beer plugs, delivery apps, telecom deals. Quick take. Which of these World Cup ad plays actually moves the needle for brands and which is just noise?
You'll actually feel it most for mass retail and delivery apps. Clear call to action, easy conversion, like a striker getting service in the box. Beer and telecom are more badge on the shirt spend. Great for awareness, but a lot of it washes out as background noise.
That's the beauty of it. When the press wins you the ball, the one-touch stuff is like jazz, bang, 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 and suddenly the defense is dancing on hot coals. Those tight little triangles before the finish, that's pure rhythm and ruthlessness.
Austria's price is pinned at 0.84, 0.85, but the tell is the ask depth collapsing. Sellers are stepping back, so any fresh buy flow can pop it higher fast. Jordan's basically a ghost town on bids with a wall of asks, like a team parking the bus and still losing the midfield.
And that final touch, oh, it's the kind of finish that makes defenders stare into the middle distance like they've seen a ghost. This group's got fireworks written all over it, and with Messi in the mix, 3 points feels like the opening act, not the headline. That finish had a bit of magic dust on it, keeper rooted, net rippling, and the stadium just lifts. This group's a pressure cooker, and with Messi pulling the strings, 3 points is a statement. Argentina mean business. Austria sniffing around, trying to keep pace. This group's got history, and it's got bite. And you mentioned 82. Whew, that old wound still stings, doesn't it? Football never forgets. It just waits for the next chapter. Austria, Algeria. Again, that's got a little revenge movie vibe to it, hasn't it? Old scars, new stakes, and fair play. Austria have looked sharp lately, organized and fearless. They're not here for the postcards. They're here to punch a ticket. Absolutely. Austria punch above their weight because they play like a unit, not a collection of names, and that's priceless in tournament football. Rangnick's fingerprints are all over it. Intensity, structure, everyone working like they've got a stopwatch in their pocket. Oh, that's the Rangnick rhythm right there. One touch, two touch, and suddenly they're bursting through the middle like a train off the tracks. Zaberslager driving it, and that little collision just adds a spark. Austria are playing with real edge here. Zaberslager again surging forward like he's got a motor in his boots, and then he clips into Tukic at the edge of it. Oof! That's the kind of contact that can flip a match on its head in a heartbeat. Schlager threads it, the low ball fizzes in with real venom. Austria asking questions, but Alala gets that vital touch just enough to snuff out the danger, and you can feel the crowd exhale with him.
Austria just ticked up 2.86, 0.87. Momentum buyers are back and the bid depth is building, so the favorite's getting priced like a team protecting a late lead. The draw book is thin on bids with a mountain of asks, so any wobble could gap it, but right now sentiment is one way.
Invader and Simbadi linking up down that left, and Austria are stitching passes like a tailor in a hurry. Nice tempo. Kalajic is marked tight by Yazan Alala, though, and that duel's got long night written all over it. Simbadi and Invader keep teasing that left flank, and Zaberslager just keeps the metronome ticking. Austria looks so composed in possession, but Kalajic has got Yazan Alala glued to him. No free headers tonight, mate.
We just saw a quick wobble, then a snapback. Austria dipped to 0.85, sold 0.86 as sell pressure swelled. Then buyers stepped in and repinned it at 0.86, 0.87. That's classic favorite absorbs the counterpunch, but with these chunky asks, any bad headline and it can...
Tomorrow's a beauty. Portugal to get the engines revving, then England, Croatia with the nerves jangling like loose change in your pocket. And mate, I'll happily watch you sweat this time. World Cup karma, just like the market, it always comes back around. Austria are purring now. One goal, and suddenly every touch has swagger. Every pass has purpose. That little flick was pure velvet, and Kalajic is sniffing around like a big striker who can smell blood in the box. They're ticking like a well-wound watch now. Austria confidence is a dangerous fuel, and it's flooding through them. Zabidza's flick had real street magic, and Kalajic is throwing himself at everything, trying to turn pressure into panic for the defenders. Austria have found their rhythm. Suddenly it's one touch, two touch, and the tempo's climbing. Zabidza's flick was cheeky brilliance, and Kalajic is making those little nuisance runs that turn a backline's legs to jelly. Austria are zipping it around beautifully, but the final pass just evaporates. No one gambling in the danger zone. And Schmid, that's one for the scrapbook, all right. The kind you hit in training 100 times, then somehow it lands on the big stage. Exactly. When it's flowing, you're not thinking. You're just letting muscle memory drive the car. He'll shrug and say instinct, but that's hours of repetition cashing in at the perfect moment. That's the striker's trance, isn't it? Autopilot engaged and the brain's just along for the ride. He'll tell the cameras, I don't remember, but the feet remember every drill, every touch, every little angle. IMO Bundesliga title race too close for comfort. Can you riff on that like a market squeeze and how one star like Schmid can be the difference maker?
Totally. When the table's that tight, it trades like a short squeeze. Everyone's leaning one way and one goal flips positioning fast. A star like Schmid is your liquidity shock, the one catalyst that breaks the range and forces late chasers to...
Lamer tries to light the fuse and hits the deck, but the ref's having none of it. Play on, says he. Austria are snapping into those transitions now, but that last wall of defending is standing tall and the clock's starting to feel like an extra defender.
Austria is still the favorite, 8-0-8-5-0-8-6, but bid depth just got cut nearly in half. Support's thinning, so it won't take much to knock it a tick lower. Jordan's ask even widened to 0.04, which screams illiquidity. If momentum...
Oh, he's got the whole postcode to run into there, and then bang, the touch lets him down at the worst moment. Alarab pounces like a taxman on payday, and Austria will be kicking themselves because that was begging for a killer finish. Ramon's reading it like tomorrow's headlines, stepping in early and snuffing out the danger before it even breathes. Posh just can't get that clean sequence of touches, and you can feel this turning into a trench fight. Fullbacks doing overtime, everyone's hands full.
Austria's reclaimed 0.86, 0.87, so the dip buyers showed up again, but the sell wall is still towering, nearly 500k on the ask side. This is like a team up 1-0 parking the bus. You're winning, but you're not breaking away, and any shot can tighten spreads.
Ramon's got that sixth sense tonight, slides across, nicks it, and suddenly the threat evaporates. Posh can't stitch the touches together, and with a center half moonlighting at right back, this is pure grit and teeth football now. IMO, sounds like Bayern are close to a contract extension. Give us the market angle, wage structure, valuation, and what it signals for the club's balance sheet ambitions.
Yep. An extension is basically Bayern locking in a key asset, but it can reset the wage curve and inflate the whole cost base if they're not careful. If it's structured with incentives, it's bullish for balance sheet discipline and signals they're playing long-term valuation.
We're hearing Bayern and the player are close on a contract extension. Nothing signed yet, but it sounds likely. From your angle, how big is that for Bayern's wage bill? Austria nick it, and suddenly it's 1-0. This game's got a pulse, hasn't it? Jordan have had a pop more often, but Austria are bossing the rhythm with the ball, squeezing the life out of those passing lanes.
Agreed. Close is the market pricing it in, but until the ink's dry, you still have headline risk. Big extensions matter less for the one player and more for the wage ladder. Once your captain gets paid, everyone's agent shows up like it's transfer window Black Friday.
IMO, Bayern extension talk, nothing signed but sounds close. From your angle, what does that do to wage structure and the asset value of keeping a key runner tied down after a trophy-heavy season?
Right. Keeping him tied down protects the asset value and stabilizes the earnings stream from trophies, sponsors, and shirt sales. But it also sets a new wage benchmark in the dressing room, like giving one striker a mega deal and watching every teammate start taking shots.
Bayern contract extension chatter, big asset retention. Quick take, does locking him down stabilize the portfolio or limit flexibility? Give us the market angle in 20 seconds.
It stabilizes the portfolio. Your star asset stays on the books, and you reduce the risk of a free transfer write-off. The trade-off is flexibility. A bigger fixed wage is like adding leverage, great when you're winning, painful if form drops.
Jordan are sniffing it now. Quick wide, cut inside, and bang, they're asking real questions. Big block in the box, bodies flying, and the handball screams are echoing, but Austria are living on that knife edge they love.
Austria slipped a tick to 0.85, 0.86, and the big tell is bid depth got cut nearly in half. Buyers are backing off even though the headline probability barely moved. With that heavy ask stack still overhead, this feels like a team protecting a lead but losing mid.
Tamari lets it fly and the crowd wants a whistle, but the refs having none of it. Play on. Salami's on the touchline watching every heartbeat of this, and Jordan are starting to believe they can crack this door open.
Now you've got Austria bid depth rebuilding to 176k, but the ask side is still a wall at 515k, so it's support, not a breakout. Draw is leaking to 0.10 bid, and Jordan's basically pinned 80.03, so the market's saying Austria's support keeps thickening, bid depth up over 205k, yet price won't lift because that 521k offer stack is basically a parked bus in front of goal. Draw tightened a touch to 0.11, so there's a small
Austria's playing high risk, high reward, on the edge stuff. Got a quick analogy for investors chasing cutting edge returns while managing downside to match this momentum swing.
Totally. This is like pressing with a high line. You win the ball and score fast, but one through ball and you're exposed. Investors chasing edge returns need tight risk controls because momentum flips quicker than my last trade idea.
Austria's got that little blade of quality. When they spread it wide and flood the box, it's chaos for defenders. Jordan will be frustrated, sure, but there's enough encouragement here to keep the pressure cooking. And Friday on Fox, USA Australia, that's a heavyweight bell ring. Austria keep tossing shirts into the penalty area like it's a clearance sale. One good delivery and it's panic stations. Jordan are annoyed but not broken, and that's dangerous. And Friday, USA Australia in Seattle, that's got blockbuster. Austria are piling into the box with real intent. When they swing it wide, you can feel a chance brewing. Jordan might be frustrated, but the belief is growing, and that's when matches flip. And Friday on Fox, USA Australia in Seattle, clear your calendar.
Austria's still glued at 0.85, 0.86, but the story is positioning. Bids are steady around 206k while the sell side wall keeps growing, so upside is getting smothered. Draw liquidity is creeping up too, which reads like quiet hedging as the favorite's price stops advancing. We just saw a quick liquidity mirage. Austria's ask wall briefly thinned, then it snapped right back to a heavy 518k, and price still can't clear 0.86. That's sellers reloading like a team absorbing pressure and countering, so the risk...
Nasib stands over it, and you can feel the stadium hold its breath. This is a moment to drop it right on the money. Zabita's the heartbeat in that Rangnick setup, always sniffing danger and snapping into shape. Austria won't switch off for a second here. You can see that RB schooling all over him, pressing triggers, quick angles, always hunting in packs like wolves. He's front and center in the chaos, and Dortmund love that kind of engine. It's not pretty, but it's brutally effective. Schmid is snapping up again, and Austria's press is back like a tide. 3-on-3, no time to breathe. Jordan thought they'd bought a couple minutes, but the reset is ruthless, and now they've got to play brave or they'll cough it up in a bad area. Schmid steps up and Austria crank the vice again. 3 forwards locking onto 3 defenders. It's suffocating. Jordan had a little breather, but that reset is savage, and now they've got to find a brave pass or it's trouble. They've got to locate that outlet pass fast because Austria are hunting like it's the last scrap of food on the pitch. And at the break, stick around for the Visa halftime show. Ben Moonstein, Mikkel John Obi, and Mo Adu will have plenty to chew on.
Austria's still stuck 0.85, 0.86, and even with the ask depth easing a bit, it's not translating into lift. Buyers aren't following through. Meanwhile, the draw ask stack balloons to 755k, which screams cheap insurance is being sold hard, keeping the whole market.
Yeah, I'm with you. Jordan have squeezed every drop out of that first half, disciplined, brave, and hanging in the fight. But you can feel Austria circling, and if Jordan don't find a cleaner exit ball, that pressure's going to turn into chances. Still chasing it, aren't they? Jordan have competed, but they're missing that one spark, that little wand wave Austria found earlier. And there's Al Rashton flying in, crunching the challenge, trying to light a fuse and drag them back into this. IMO, Jordan look like they're fading a touch before halftime. Momentary late challenge, chasing shadows. Any quick take on how fatigue swings momentum like a market sell-off and what halftime reset means in your world?
Yep, fatigue is like leverage. It looks fine until the legs go, then one wobble turns into a cascade of forced selling. Halftime reset is the market's overnight session. Positions get rebalanced, narratives cool off, and the second half can reopen at a...
You can see the legs getting heavy as halftime creeps in. Those half steps turn into late steps, and late steps turn into danger. That's the moment when chasing the game bites you, and suddenly every tackle feels like a gamble. That's the fear, isn't it? One more before the break, and the whole mountain gets steeper for Jordan. Alaba was winding up the orchestra there, but the whistle kills it stone dead, and they'll take that little breath of relief.
We got a quick uptick to 0.86, 0.87, and then it slipped right back. Classic breakout attempt that gets sold into. The tell is that Austria's ask wall reinflates to 529k while draw and Jordan tick up a hair, so the market's pricing not over yet.
IMO, Austria are getting frustrated by Jordan's time wasting, classic gamesmanship when legs go heavy. Feels like momentum and psychology are swinging. Got any market style take on how frustration can trigger rash decisions or volatility on the pitch?
Totally. Frustration is the pitch version of FOMO. You start forcing passes like a trader chasing a breakout, and that's when the counterattack gap opens. Time wasting is basically volatility suppression until one bad tackle spikes the whole tape.
Austria are getting prickly now. Jordan are milking every stoppage like it's liquid gold, and you can feel the tempo being strangled. And Morocco as the blueprint? Absolutely. When you've seen a neighbor climb the mountain, you start believing your boots can...
That's a real sentiment wobble. Austria ticks down to 0.84, 0.85, and bid depth collapses to just 18K while the sell wall stays massive. Feels like the crowd stepping back from the favorite. One more scare and this can gap lower fast like a defense caught on a counter.
Jordan's rise has been real, and you can hear the confidence in the way they talk about those recent tournaments. No more just making up the numbers. And Morocco as the role model. Of course, when someone from your region crashes the party on the world stage, you can feel Jordan's belief growing with every tournament. Asian Cup, Arab Cup, they've been knocking on doors and now they're trying to kick one down. And Morocco's the poster on the wall, isn't it? Proof that a team from your neighborhood can shake the giants. Corner coming, and you can sense Austria fancying their set-piece routines here. Those short ones have had a bit of spice. They're trying to draw Jordan out, pull a marker loose, and suddenly the box opens up like a trap door.
Austria's price is still heavy, 8.84, 0.85, but that earlier no bid scare just got refilled. Bid depth snaps back to 184K, so dip buyers showed up. The bigger story is draw, and Jordan are still wearing huge ass caps, so upside is there, but...
Another corner, and Austria are cooking up something cheeky again. Short, sharp, trying to wrong foot the whole defensive block. Jordan have to stay switched on here because one lazy step and that ball's whipped into a danger zone in a heartbeat. Abdul Taha turns on the style there. Little shimmy, little burst. He's got Umeva on skates, but then the moment dies and you just want someone to hit it, even if it's ugly. Make the keeper work. That challenge was nasty. Felt like a reckless tackle that could swing momentum. From your angle, how do you read the risk management of a team when they start flying into duels like that?
Yeah, that's a team blowing its stop loss. When you start diving in, you're trading emotion, not position. One mistimed lunge is a red card tail risk, and the market instantly reprices like a sudden liquidity vacuum. We finally see a little air come out. Austria slips a tick to 0.83, 0.84, and that's the market pricing in anything can happen after the heat on the pitch. Still, with $500,000 sitting on the offer, any bounce is running into a wall of sellers.
Jordan are starting to believe when they go direct. Every quick ball forward has Austria glancing over their shoulders. And now a set piece with Samai hovering. You can feel the crowd holding its breath because this one could be dipped right into chaos. Tamari absolutely leathers it in, but Zabitzer stands tall and hacks it clear. Austria survived that scare. Haddad retreats and Abu Layla calms it down at the back, and you've got to admire the fans tuning in at a bizarre hour, bleary-eyed but loving it. Tamari hits it with real venom, but Zabitzer throws himself at it and gets Austria out of jail. Haddad drops it back and Abu Layla resets the whole thing, and somewhere in Amman there are fans watching at a ridiculous hour, wide awake on pure adrenaline.
We just saw a classic head fake. Austria briefly popped 2.85 or 8.6 on thicker bids, then slipped right back to 0.84 or 0.85 as the offer ballooned to 681K. That's supply winning the midfield battle. Buyers are there, but they're getting pressed off the ball. Totally. Kickoff time is basically the exchange setting the opening auction to maximize liquidity. You chase the biggest TV time zones because eyeballs are the currency. More viewers means fatter rights fees and sponsors, even if the local fans are trading on.
Jordan are playing with real swagger here, Conrad. There's bite in every run and belief in every pass. Tamari just refuses to stop, wriggles free and skids one in. You could hear a whole nation inhale at once. That was inches from fireworks. Absolutely, Tamari's built like a little battering ram. Once he drops that shoulder, defenders are grabbing air. Austria will be relieved Jordan have taken a breath because the tempo was starting to feel like a wave about to crash again. Jordan absolutely belong in this fight. Tamari's got that low slung balance like he's glued to the turf and you just can't knock him off it. That last move got a bit crowded, but the breather might be exactly what they need to load up another surge.
Austria's holding some 0.84, but the tape screams capped. You've got 543k of offers leaning on it versus 185k bids. Draw money's quietly firming on better depth, like the underdog parking the bus and waiting for one bounce.
Oh, it's worth every yawn and every extra coffee because this has proper World Cup electricity in it. Whether you're watching with the curtains closed at midnight or the kettle on at dawn, you can feel something brewing out there. If you're up at some ungodly hour, you've picked the right match to lose sleep over. This has been pure World Cup drama. Late night or early morning, the heart beats the same when the stakes are this high. Oof, that ball's zipping like it's got ice skates on. Night kickoffs can turn the pitch into a slip and slide, and you saw it there. Austria cough it up, and suddenly Jordan are sniffing danger again. You can feel the crowd lean forward. That header was more hope than harm, but then Altamari turns on the jets. Express train is right. He's flying past Alaba with that first burst. He's riding the contact and still keeping it close. That's the kind of run that makes defenders panic. That header's just a little nudge, nothing Matos can really feast on, but then Altamari hits the accelerator and it's chaos. Alaba's in a proper wrestling match with him, and still the lad keeps the ball like it's tied to his boot. Absolutely not out of it. This is the World Cup, and one moment flips everything on its head. You can sense the belief creeping back in, the tempo's rising, and Austria can't afford a single sleepy pass now.
Austria's still stuck at 0.84 to 0.85, but now you've got a real bid wall, 8084, 301k shares, so the floor looks better defended. Problem is the ceiling's even heavier, 434k sitting at 0.86, so upside feels like running into a packed.
And there's the whistle for the break. Radnik with their noses in front, and Romano's strike is the kind you replay until your phone battery dies. Austria have work to do, but this one's still simmering nicely for the second half. Halftime it is, and Radnik lead thanks to that Romano moment of magic. Absolute postcard stuff, but don't get comfy because the team talk now is like a stock correction. One sharp move and the whole chart changes. Romano's goal feels like a blue-chip rocket at the bell. Radnik up at halftime. Give us your market-style read. Do Austria look like a second-half rebound or a value trap?
Yeah, that opener's a gap up for the underdog, but Austria's price action says rebound attempt, not capitulation. Big bids are still defending the line. That said, the offer stack is thick, so any rally needs real second-half chances, not just possession.
IMO. Austria 1-0 up at the break. Feels like a market with bullish momentum, but still fragile. What's your second half call? Hold the lead like a blue chip, or is this ripe for a Jordan comeback correction?
I'm with you. This is blue chip behavior if they keep the tempo and don't sit in a low block. But one sloppy turnover, and you get that classic second half correction. The crowd's long, so the shakeout can be quick.
IMO, Austria 1-0 up at the break after a long-range hit. Feels like a market opening green, but with Jordan still creating chances. Give us your halftime portfolio take. Protect the lead or keep investing in attack.
Spot on. When the opponent's still generating looks, you don't go full capital preservation and park it. Austria should keep a measured press and hunt the second goal, because defending a one-goal lead is like holding a thinly traded winner, one wick, and you're
Oh, that's belief turned into pure theater. Bicycle kick perfection, the kind that makes the laws of physics file a complaint. You see that and you don't just think, can I do that? But you think, why am I not out there right now? Absolutely. Football's the people's game. You just need a ball and a bit of space, and suddenly you've got a World Cup in the street. And tomorrow's a monster day. AMO's charts can wait. This is the market of dreams.
Austria's still priced like the favorite, but it's a grind. Big support 8084 and an even bigger lid 8086, so upside is getting sold into. The real tell is draw, bids jumped and the spread tightened, like traders hedging for late drama, while Jordan stays at
IMO, he's run some numbers and is talking about moving. Give us your best market style take on relocation, risk, and saltwater as an investment metaphor.
relocations like rotating sectors. You're swapping familiar volatility for a new risk curve, cost of living, job liquidity, and community fit are your fundamentals. Saltwater's the dividend, but don't overpay for the view. Make sure the cash flow.
IMO, they're talking JPEGs as a financial plan. Give us the quick reality check. Is this peak hype cycle madness or just modern collectibles with a suit on?
Yeah, that's classic hype cycle behavior. Some pieces are legit collectibles, but most trade like penny stocks with a pretty logo. If the only cash flow is finding a bigger buyer, you're not investing, you're playing stoppage time roulette.
Listen to that roar. Roll out like a team talk in a tunnel, and suddenly it's not a hardware store. It's a cup final. Dream the impossible dream. Fight the unbeatable foe. That's football in a nutshell with a bit of paint and plywood on the side. The chant's got legs, hasn't it? Roll out like a press wave, relentless and loud. And that line, dream the impossible dream, that's every underdog warming up, every fan believing, every match begging for a miracle. Oof, that early chance was a warning. Jordan have come out like a team possessed. O'Day lets fly and the keeper has to pull out a postcard save to stop the early punch, and then Romanostic just paints the top corner from distance. Absolute thunderbolt. Keeper's only watching, and suddenly it's their night.
Austria's price is pinned, more size stacking the 0.84 bid, but that 0.86 offer wall is still the bouncer at the door, so rallies look capped. Draw liquidity is swelling on the ask side, which screams hedge demand if this stays from zero and nerves creep in. Jordan's still a desert.
Oh, that's the sound of heartbreak off the woodwork, crossbar still shaking, and Ottawa breathe again. Jordan are slicing through in transition, finding that space behind, and the keeper has to come up huge once more. This is boiling now. Jordan are inches away. Rattle the bar and you can feel the momentum swinging like a pendulum. That player to watch is ghosting into space on the break again, and the keeper has to throw out another monster save to protect that zero. Crossbar, that's the football gods teasing Jordan so close you can taste it, and suddenly Ottawa look a little wobbly. They're ripping into that space in behind on the counter, and the keeper's making himself a one-man insurance policy to keep the lead alive. IMO, Messi's hat trick is like a blue chip stock on a bull run. Unstoppable momentum. From your angle, what's the market reaction when a GOAT performance hits the headlines mid-tournament?
Absolutely. GOAT headlines are a liquidity event. Casual money piles in, spreads tighten, and everyone chases the highlight reel like it's earnings beat season. The risk is the priced-in hangover next match when expectations get set at hat-trick levels.
Slagger's got those vice grip hands. Second ball takes a nick and he still snaffles it. That's pure goalkeeping grit to keep Austria in front. And then you flick over to Messi bagging a hat trick. It's like watching a cheat code, even if the keeper will want that one back. That pass is a surgeon's scalpel, splits three bodies, and suddenly Messi's already on the next page. That half-turn reaction is pure instinct. One shimmy, shifts it onto that wand of a left foot, and the keeper's just a spectator. Hat trick sealed. That through ball is outrageous. Like it's got GPS on it, carving open three defenders, and Messi's already set in that half-open stance, waiting to pounce. Then bang, one touch to the left, and it's curtains for the keeper. Hat trick stuff, pure Messi sorcery.
Now you're seeing real parking the bus money in the draw. Bid depth just surged, and that 1-1 level is getting crowded, so traders are insuring against a late equalizer. Austria is still the favorite, but with that .86 sell wall, it's more grinded out than run away.
That pass is the real headline. Threads the needle through a crowd, and Messi's body shape is already screaming, "Give it to me." He snaps onto it, nudges to the left, and that finish is a postcard. Keeper's got no invitation, just picks it out the net. IMO England's opener tomorrow. Markets love hype. Any coming home bandwagon stocks or sponsorship plays you're watching, or is it all noise until results hit?
Yeah, the coming home trade is pure momentum. Sponsors, kit makers, broadcasters can pop on sentiment, but it's fragile like a pre-match warm-up goal. Until they actually deliver, I treat it as tradable noise, not a long-term position.
IMO, we've just swerved from football's coming home into a co-pilot dispatch schedule pitch. Give us your quick market read on AI co-pilots and personalization, and I'll try to keep it on side.
Fair play, Leo. AI co-pilots are the new midfield engine. Productivity gains are real, but valuations can outrun adoption if enterprises don't roll them out at scale. The winners will be the platforms with distribution and data, not every flashy app with a nice demo.
2% back on every touch. Wells Fargo turning shopping into a steady points haul. That's a tidy little counterattack. Hands up indeed, because that's the kind of simple finish you love. No fuss, just rewards hitting the back of the net. That's a cheeky little 1-2 from the sponsors. 1.9% APR or a $2,500 bonus. They're dangling options like a winger with two defenders guessing. And sweet and tart sounds like a flavor combo trying to sneak one in at the near post. Oh, that's pure Adland chaos. Sweet turns tart, and suddenly your throat's in a tackle you didn't see coming. Dare is right, because that line's gone in studs up and the ref's just staring at it. They've mixed sweet and tart and somehow ended up with a throat that's been clattered in midfield. No protection, no warning. If that's so sweet you'll cucker, someone needs VAR on the script, because it's all over the place. Arby's just went full Route 1 football. Angus steak, melted cheese, straight down the middle, no fancy build-up. And yeah, if your mouth's full, you're not talking, you're just celebrating like you've nicked a late winner. IMO, Arby's is out here launching a steak and cheesecake product like a wild IPO. What's your take on brands going full meme to grab attention, bullish or bubble?
I get it. Meme launches are like a speculative small cap pop. Huge attention, quick spike in traffic, but it fades fast if the core menu doesn't convert. Bullish for short-term buzz metrics. Bubble if they start mistaking virality for durable demand.
Arby's cheesecake with steak and Cooper cheese, mate. That's a culinary bicycle kick. Outrageous, risky, and somehow it might just fly in. And rude to talk with your mouth full is the perfect press conference excuse after a massive performance. Just point. Oh, you can feel it already. Croatia in full voice, turning Dallas into a red and white cauldron, and England know they're walking into a storm tomorrow. That atmosphere will be like a high press from the stands, every touch under a spotlight. Romano Smith has lit the fuse for Austria. What a statement, and the champions are wobbling like they've just taken a punch they didn't see coming. 1-0 at the break, and you can bet the second half is going to be a siege. Romano Smith, take a bow. Austria's waited an age for this stage, and he's grabbed it with both hands. The holders are staring at the tunnel like it's an escape route because the second half is coming like thunder. That ad's basically a halftime team talk. Keep asking, keep pushing, even when they've written you off. But this isn't the best seat in the house. Oh, that's the fan stuck behind a flag the size of a bedsheet, still singing like it's front row. Bank of America going full motivational manager there. I keep asking like a striker begging for service in the box. And that line about the seat, that's football, even with a pillar in your way. The noise and the drama still find you.
Austria is still priced like a heavy favorite, but that ask depth just thickened. There's a real sell wall at 0.86, so upside is getting capped. The draw bid stack 80.11 keeps growing. Classic late equalizer hedge behavior as the crowd plays defense.
IMO, Bank of America just ran that power to do ad. Give us the market spin. Is this confidence, consumer optimism, or just glossy branding while rates bite?
It's confidence theater with a purpose. Banks lean into optimism when they want deposits sticky and card spend humming, even as rates squeeze the edges. Think of it like a manager talking up belief while quietly tightening the formation on credit risk.
IMO, Duracell's got Messi as the GOAT. Give us the market angle. Does this kind of superstar endorsement actually move the needle for a battery brand, or is it just brand glow?
Messi's a halo play. He won't suddenly double battery volumes, but he can defend pricing and shelf space when consumers are trading down. It's like signing a star to sell shirts in confidence, not to change the whole tactics board.
Baseball night in America on Fox. Different sport, same pressure cooker, my friend. But I'll tell you what, if this match had innings, Austria would be begging for the rain delay right now with that 1-0 lead. We're back in the Bay, and Austria are clinging to that 1-0 like it's the last lifeboat. Jordan sniffing around, looking for a crack. You can feel it. One moment of quality, and this whole thing flips on its head. Back we come, and Austria's got... We're live again in the Bay Area, and Austria's 1-0 up, but it feels like they're walking a tightrope in a windstorm. Jordan are growing into it, and the next 5 minutes could be absolute fireworks. Austria rolling the dice with a change up top, fresh legs, fresh ideas, because that front line's been a bit too quiet for comfort. If Jordan smell uncertainty here, they'll pounce like it's a loose ball in the 6-yard box. Jordan have had a blueprint from the first whistle, and you can see Austria don't like being asked questions this often. Curry and Altamari are buzzing around like wasps at a picnic. One clean moment and we're level, no doubt. Jordan have come with the plan, and they've stuck to it. Austria are ahead, but they're not comfortable for a second. Curry and Altamari keep lighting the fuse. They just need that one crisp touch, that one killer pass, and bang, game on. Rangnick wastes no time. He wants a...
Exactly. Bringing on a proven closer is like rotating into a blue chip with steady cash flows when volatility spikes. It compresses tail risk of a late wobble and nudges the market toward game management, even if the upside is just one more goal.
Austria bring on Arnautovic, big-name veteran impact sub. Give me a quick blue chip stock angle. How a proven closer changes risk-reward late in a tight 1-0. Yeah, Kalajic is more silk than sandpaper. He'll link play, he'll glide, but he won't bully you for fun. Arnautovic, though, he's the guy who turns a polite duel into a bar fight in the penalty area. You can hear it, can't you? Jordan's fans have turned this place into a home game. Every touch gets a roar. That kind of backing gives you an extra yard, an extra tackle, and suddenly Austria feel the heat even with the lead. Listen to that noise. Jordan supporters are absolutely pouring belief into every pass and press. Austria might be favorites on paper, but in this atmosphere, the pitch feels smaller, the tackles feel heavier, and the next moment could swing either way. IMO, this Bay Area crowd is like a home market surge for Jordan. How much does that kind of momentum remind you of a stock getting carried by retail energy? And can it flip the favorites narrative fast?
Crowd momentum here feels like a retail-driven squeeze. Sentiment can gap the price fast, even if fundamentals still favor Austria. One big chance or set piece is the catalyst, and suddenly the favorites trading like a nervous blue chip under pressure.
Austria going more direct now, less silk, more shove, and Jordan will happily scrap for second balls all night. If plan A's stalling, this turns into a street fight in midfield, and that suits the underdog's heartbeat.
Whoa, this book just got weird. Austria still shows 85%, but the top bid printing down at 0.01 and asks up 80.99 screams a liquidity vacuum or bad quoting, not real conviction. When the spread looks like a goalkeeper took the day off, you don't trust.
It flew by, didn't it? End-to-end stuff with real bite, and Jordan brought that fearless surge every time they went forward. You can feel they've got the legs and the belief to keep rattling Austria if this pace holds.
We're back to a normal Austria quote, 80 84.85, but those ghost top levels, 80.01 and 0.99, are still sitting there like broken stadium lights. Ignore them. They're not real price discovery. The real tell is liquidity's thinner now, so any sharp in-game swing.
That energy is infectious, and Alzori's been the spearhead. When they go wide and whip it in, Austria look a touch uneasy. One clean delivery and it's panic stations because he attacks space like it owes him money. Alzori's giving them a proper focal point. Get it out wide, sling it in, and suddenly Austria are backpedaling like they've seen a ghost. That spray and go rhythm is dangerous, and you can feel a chance brewing every time they hit the flanks. Jordan are sniffing it now. One block straight back on the front foot, and suddenly the pitch opens up like a trap door. Haddad sparks it. Agudi pulls the trigger, but Schlager says not today and swallows it up.
Austria's still pinned at 0.840.85, but the bid stack keeps bleeding and Jordan's bid depth is basically evaporating. This is a one-sided crowd, and that's when air pockets happen. Those 0.01, 0.99 phantom levels remain, so execution risk.
That's the warning shot. Jordan recycle it instantly, and Haddad finds daylight. You can hear the crowd lean forward. Agudi hits it, but Schlager's hands are like magnets clinging on and calming the storm. Austria strike first. Classic first goal sets the tone moment. Any quick market style take on how an early lead changes risk appetite and tempo, like protecting a position versus doubling down?
Absolutely. An early goal is like a stock popping on earnings. Longs get tempted to take profit, while late buyers chase and overpay the spread. Tempo usually slows as the leader parks the bus, so draw and upset hedges get cheaper until the next big. Austria's price hasn't budged, but the bid depth keeps draining. Feels like holders are quietly cashing out into strength rather than pressing the advantage. Meanwhile, Jordan ticks up to 4% with a firmer 0.04, so the comeback lottery is. Austria's still stuck at 0.84, 0.85, but the book's getting top-heavy on the sell side. Ask depth is more than double the bid, so upside feels capped unless fresh buyers show up. Jordan holding 0.04 tells you the underdog punt is alive, but it's still a thin market.
Jordan have been building something, no doubt. Those recent tournaments gave them belief and a bit of bite, but tonight, belief meets Austria's tempo, and if they don't steady the ball soon, this could turn into a long chase. Jordan's recent runs have given them that "we belong here" swagger, but Austria are squeezing the pitch like a vice right now. One loose pass and Nasovic is off like a greyhound. This is teetering on a big moment. Amo, Jordan being called a project. Manager says he'll leave when it's finished. Feels like long-term investment talk. Can you riff on that while Austria show their class in those duels?
Totally. It's a project is management speak for negative free cash flow today, big promises tomorrow, and investors need patience. Austria winning the duels is like the incumbent with pricing power. They control the tape, and the market won't fund the.
Austria get punished for dawdling, gift wrap momentum for Jordan, and suddenly they're sniffing around the box with a bit of mischief. And Schlager's a key cog, isn't he? When he's fit, the whole machine clicks. When he's not, you feel the wobble. Jordan just scored their first ever World Cup goal. Ali Alwan equalizer. Give me a quick market reaction angle. Momentum swing, underdog narrative, pressure on Austria. Jordan have just scored their first ever World Cup goal. Ali Alwan with the equalizer. Massive underdog moment. Give us the market shock analogy and what this does to momentum.
That's a full-on risk-off shock for the favorite. Austria's sure thing just got repriced in real time. It's like a late equalizer in a cup tie. Suddenly, the underdog trade gets liquidity, and Austria holders feel the pressure to hedge fast.
IMO, Jordan's first ever World Cup goal, pure history in real time. Crowds erupting like a breakout stock on earnings. Give us your best market metaphor for that kind of momentum swing.
Absolutely, this is the penny stock that just printed a surprise profit and forces every short to cover at once. The goal flips sentiment from priced out to maybe there's a story here, and Austria suddenly trades with real volatility.
That's pure history on the pitch. Jordan have lit the place up and the noise is shaking the rafters. Even with key men missing, they've played like a team with a rocket strapped to its boots, and now the momentum has swung hard.
Austria is still the favorite at 52%, but look at that lopsided ass depth. There's a wall of supply overhead, so any rally is going to feel like running into a packed defense. Jordan's only 13% yet has massive offers too, which screams nobody believes the fairy.
Austria suddenly look rattled, like someone's pulled the plug on their rhythm. That ball down the channel had just a whiff of danger, and you can feel Alwan prowling again, sniffing for another moment to explode. It's a proper punch-for-punch contest now. Austria's blueprint meets Jordan's Street Fighter swagger. You can see Rangnick's lads thinking, hang on, they can play our game too. And that's when doubt creeps in and legs get... Oh, news from Paris, Italy edging it 2-1. That's a dagger of a scoreline in a city that loves drama. Back here, the tempo's still frantic, and that quick move just then felt like a fuse being lit again. You love it, don't you? No overthinking, just straight lines and fast feet, like both benches have torn up the tactics board. Cinnamon's got them believing, and Austria are being dragged into a sprint they didn't expect. It's pure adrenaline football, both coaches basically saying, forget the chess, let's race. Cinnamon's touchline energy is infectious, and Austria are being forced to defend at full tilt every single time. Exactly, that was the spark, the moment where the whole stadium sits up like it's been hit by lightning. When a team plays with that no fear, no breaks attitude, one flash is all it takes to turn a good spell into chaos for the opposition.
Now you're seeing a tiny drift toward the draw, bid ask up a tick, while Austria stays pinned at 52% with an even bigger sell wall overhead near 845k. That's classic favorite can't pull away tape action. Lots of supply, nervous...
Italy 2-1 up in Paris, big swing. Give us the market-style take, momentum shift.
That 2-1 lead is like a stock ripping... Yep, 2-1 is the classic risk-on but not risk-free tape. Italy's the safer bet on the scoreboard, but the market keeps a volatility premium because one France surge flips everything. Italy's playing like a blue chip protecting gains. France...
Italy 2-1 in Paris, tight, high-stakes scoreline. Give us a quick market reaction angle, momentum swings pressure, and who looks like the safer bet now?
Austria just slipped a point and the price ticked down to 50-51, markets taking a little air out of the favorite. Meanwhile, the draw is getting bid up to 37-38 with deeper bids like the underdog holding firm and the crowd starting to smell extra time.
Italy 2-1 up in Paris, feels like a late market rally. Can you give us the closing bell vibe on that swing and what it means for momentum?
Absolutely, 2-1 this late is a closing bell pop. Italy's got the tape, but it's still a nervous rally because one stoppage time headline can gap it the other way. Momentum's with Italy, yet France is the last-minute liquidity shock. Liquidity just fell off a cliff. Austria bid depth down near... That equalizer is a straight sentiment reset. Austria stops trading like the blue chip and starts acting like a crowded lawn getting shaken out. The draw becomes the new quality bid, while Jordan's the momentum flyer ripping higher on pure adrenaline.
He reads it early, doesn't he? Sniffs the trouble and just fires it straight back where it came from. Center half brain in a right back's body, and those are the little emergency moments that keep you alive in a tight game. Yeah, he's got the legs to burst on, but when it's time for the velvet touch, it turns into sandpaper. Austria's rhythm just stutters in that final third, and that goal marker, the 16th of the tournament, it's another little stamp on a World Cup that's already crackling.
Austria's slipping, now 8.49 and sub 50%, while Jordan quietly ticks up to 13 cents, and that's the market hedging the upset. With bid depth still paper thin and huge sell walls overhead, this feels like a nervy one-goal game where any breakaway moves the odds fast.
Imo, this match is swinging like a volatile stock. Jordan under pressure, Austria flooding the box with Ali Orwan driving in. Give us a quick market sentiment. Take on momentum and risk right now.
Yeah, this is risk on pressure. Austria's like the heavyweight piling on volume, but the book's thin, so one Jordan counter is a nasty gap risk. Or wins those sudden buy programs. If he breaks through, short scramble. If not, Austria fades.
Austria are wobbling here, you can feel it. Jordan are snapping into every second ball like it's got their name on it. That little give and go, the header back in, it's building. One clean touch and this turns into a full-blown scramble in the box. Oof, the keeper makes hard work of it. 2 bites at the cherry and your heart's in your mouth for a second. But Jordan are smelling that uncertainty now. They've got that swagger going forward like they fancy every loose ball to turn into gold.
Totally. When the keeper's shaky, that's like a blue chip missing earnings. Trust evaporates and every touch gets sold. Momentum flips to Jordan because pressing forces errors, and in a thin book, one bad clearance is a gap move. Austria's still
Here we go, fresh legs and a bit of stardust coming on, and you can feel the tempo about to spike. Dual nationals, big decisions, big pressure, but tonight it's simple. Step on that pitch and prove you picked the right shirt. Jordan are playing it street smart here, slowing it down, nicking seconds, trying to take the sting out of Austria's rhythm. But Austria get the free kick, and that's a chance to reset. One good delivery, and suddenly all that lovely little give and go there. Alwan trying to grease the wheels, and Altamari's hungry for the return ball. But Andovic goes down, and that just slams the brake. Big numbers flashing, and that's a key moment. Schlager's night is done, and Austria have to reshuffle the engine room on the fly. And Alaba, cool as you like, just flicking the sweat away like he's about to conduct the next movement. Jordan are slowing everything down. Classic time management, boxing clever. Any quick market analogy for controlling tempo and protecting a lead when volatility spikes?
Exactly. This is a team going full sell volatility, widening the clock and starving the market of catalysts. When tempo slows, price action compresses, but it also builds pressure like a coiled spring if Austria lands one big chance.
Adlema's the heartbeat out there. You can see Austria leaning on him to keep the pulse steady, but that switch from Zavad is overcooked. Too much mustard on it, and Vane's left staring at empty grass, chance gone begging. Adlema's the heartbeat out there. You can see Austria leaning on him to keep the pulse steady. But that switch from Zavad is overcooked, too much mustard on it, and Vane's left staring at empty grass, chance gone begging. Chigwamiki's a fascinating one. Germany shirt, England roots, and now fully buying into this Galdrangi ride. You love that modern football twist. Raid nudges it on, and Matovic is sniffing danger, trying to turn that little shove into a proper surge. Chigwameke is a brilliant symbol of the modern game, born one place, polished in another, and now he's fully signed up to this Galdrangi mission. Raid pushes it on, and Matovic is on the hunt, trying to turn that forward nudge into a real warning shot. Absolutely he can. Lyman's the Swiss Army knife out there. You could drop him in a phone box, and he'd still find a way to play a 1-2. Coaches love that, because when the game gets messy, he's the guy who tidies it up without fuss.
Draw just got a little pricier, 8.040 or 0.41, and that's the market paying up for no breakthrough as time management wins. Austria's got a chunky Soy 45 bid now, but with that massive sell side overhead, rallies still feel like running into a packed penalty box.
Oh, 100%. Lyman's the ultimate utility man. You could stick him anywhere and he'd look like he's been there all season. In a match that's constantly shifting shape, that kind of versatility is gold dust. Dancel brings that proper midfield muscle, but he's not just a bruiser. He can play, he can punch passes through traffic, and if Vanna's being nudged into that 10 pocket, you can feel a tweak coming here. They're hunting more shots, more chaos near the box. Dancel's got that brick wall presence, but he's got velvet on the boot too. He can carry it, and he can clip a pass that hurts you. And Vanna, hovering as the 10 right under the ref's nose, feels like they're about to roll the dice and crank up the pressure.
Austria just took a step back, 0.46, 0.47, and win prob 47%. And look at that ask depth ballooning. Sellers are lining up like it's a post-match autograph session. Draw holding 0.48, 0.41 says the market's still bracing for stalemate.
Dan Sill's the kind of midfielder you feel in your ribs. Big frame, but he's got real touch and composure when it gets tight. And Vanna drifting into that number 10 lane right by the referee screams, "We're changing the rhythm now. More runners, more shots, more trouble." That was the moment. Jovic just couldn't get his body set and it slips away. But look at Lima sneaking in from fullback like a late train into the station, giving them that extra passing lane, and suddenly the midfield's got an extra heartbeat. Oh, Jovic will be kicking himself. He's reaching for it, and the chance just evaporates. But that Lima move is clever, stepping inside from left back like he owns the midfield, creating a new angle, and suddenly they've got an extra man in the engine room.
That's a real momentum swing. Austria down to 45% and the bid depth basically evaporated, so the support line just got pulled. Draw up to 41% is the market saying this is headed for A00 unless something crazy happens, and Jordan ticking to 14% is the
Bay Area under the lights, and you can feel that West Coast buzz. Seattle fans making the trip like it's a cup final. And you mentioned Belgium, Egypt, 60 goals. That's not a match, that's a pinball machine with shin pads. Imo, quick one. If we're talking do another and the numbers are flying around, give us the clean arithmetic and what it means in plain terms. Crowds buzzing for the figure.
Yep, Leo. Clean math. Austria 45%, plus draw 41%, plus Jordan 14% equals 100%, so the book's internally consistent. Plain English, the market's basically calling it a coin flip between Austria and a stalemate, with Jordan the long shot breakaway.
Lavana just dinks it in behind, cheeky little chip, and they're waving play on, no whistle, keep it moving. Chukwuemeka shoulder to shoulder in a foot race, and Naujovic driving with it like he's got a motor in his boots. That little chip is pure mischief from Lavana, and the ref says play on, no sympathy. Chukwuemeka is stride for stride, and Naujovic is carrying it with real swagger. This is starting to smell like danger in the final third. Al Rashin wants to hit the accelerator again, but that pass toward Bakori just doesn't land. Danson reads it early and snuffs it out. Spurs get away with one there, a narrow escape, and you can hear the warning sirens starting to blare. Abu Layla and Chukwuemeka both had a sniff, and somehow it slips through their fingers. What a let-off for the defense, and what on earth just happened in that box? It was chaos for a heartbeat, like the ball turned into a bar of soap. Imo, that chance just evaporated in the box. Total chaos. Give us a quick market reaction analogy. When a sure thing turns into a slip-up in seconds, what does that look like on a trading floor?
Exactly, Leo. That's the trading floor version of a fat finger headline. Spreads widen, bids vanish, and everyone yanks orders like defenders sprinting back after a turnover. 1 second it's tap in, next it's pure volatility and panic hedging.
Abu Layla and Chukwuemeka can't make it count. 2 bites at the cherry and they come up empty. And inside that area, it's absolute bedlam. Bodies everywhere. The ball pinballing around like it's got a mind of its own. Imo, we've got chaos in the box. Keeper hesitates between catch and punch, possible contact to the face, and the crowd's screaming for something. Feels like a VAR moment. Give me your market reaction take on this kind of controversy.
Totally a VAR moment, Leo. Markets hate uncertainty more than bad news, so you get a quick liquidity freeze and prices gap as everyone waits for the official decision. Then the instant the call lands, it's a violent repricing, like a whistle turning noise into...
Abu Layla's indecision in the box, catch punch, then panic, looks like a costly misread with contact involved. Feels like a market wobble. One hesitation and everyone senses weakness. What's your take on that kind of confidence shock?
Nailed it, Leo. That's a confidence shock. One visible hesitation and the whole market starts testing the level, hitting bids just to see what breaks. It's like a keeper flapping once, and suddenly every cross becomes a shot on target.
We've got a messy penalty area collision. Keeper Abu Layla hesitates between catch and punch, takes contact to the face, and it's got VAR controversy vibes. Any quick take on risk management when a keeper changes his mind like that under pressure?
Yeah, Leo. That's the classic mid-trade flip. Once you change the plan under pressure, you double the error rate and invite the worst outcome. Good risk management is commit early or clear decisively. Hesitation is how small risk turns into a blow-up.
That keeper's had a proper wobble there. Half catch, half punch, and suddenly it's chaos in the 6-yard box. If there's a nudge in the face, VAR might have a little peek, but Abu Layla looks like he's shaking it off and roaring back into it. He's dusted himself down and he's back up like nothing happened. Goalkeepers are a different breed, aren't they? And you at home, get that QR code scanned and have your say, because this game's throwing up heroes every 5 minutes. Imo, that goal came straight off a keeper error. Talk about volatility. Give us your market reaction take. Confidence crash, rebound, or panic sell.
That's a confidence air pocket, Leo. First reaction is a mini panic sell as everyone reprices the safe side and momentum traders pile on. But if the team settles, you often get a dead cat bounce. Markets love overreacting, and I've been guilty too.
Sabitzer's prowling over that corner like a man with a remote control for the ball. This is danger with a capital D. Big bodies piling in, and you can feel the stadium holding its breath for that one clean header. Sabitzer's got that wand out again, corner whipped in, and it's panic stations for the defense. Lienhart and Dano are charging like freight trains into the box, and one good contact here could blow the roof off. Sabitzer standing over it, and you just know he fancies a wicked delivery. This is set-piece theater. Lienhart and Dano are marching in like they've smelled blood, and the defenders are clinging on for dear life. The defenders are screaming at the ref, but that looks clean as a whistle. Goal all day long. Arnavaz just snapped at it on instinct. Bang, no time to think, and now it's that horrible hush while everyone waits for the signal. Imo VAR check for possible handball.
Absolutely, Leo. This is a late compliance audit that can claw back earned gains if the process wasn't clean. Traders celebrate the P&L, then the regulator shows up, and suddenly it's a restatement. Instant sentiment swing.
For handball check on Austria's goal, attacker number 5 possibly handles it in the build-up. Quick take, in markets terms, is this like a late compliance review that can wipe out a profit after the fact? VAR handball check on Austria's number 5 in the build-up, arms by his side, but Jordan are furious. Feels like a market volatility moment. One decision could wipe a goal off the board. Give us your take on the risk-reward of VAR swing.
You're spot on, Leo. VAR is headline risk in real time. The payoff is huge, but the tail risk is getting your trade reversed after you've already celebrated. In these moments, emotions spike and you get whipsaw. Crowd sentiment turns faster than price. Austria's priced like a heavy favorite 8.0.76, but that massive ask depth is a wall of supply. Any wobble and you'll see a quick slip as sellers lean on it. The big bearish Austria tickets down at 0.29 look like early contrarians, while the
VAR handball debate. If it's accidental but leads directly to the scorer, it's usually chalked off. Feels like a technicality that swings momentum. Any quick market volatility analogy for this kind of review drama?
Totally, Leo. This is like a tiny accounting footnote that forces a full earnings restatement. The intent doesn't matter, the rule does, and price snaps to it. Everyone front runs the decision, then you get a violent repricing on the whistle.
VAR handball check on Austria's number 5. If it's deemed immediate handball leading to the goal, it's chalked off. Give us your market reaction take, momentum swing, pressure, and what teams do psychologically in these stoppages. VAR wipes out the goal for handball. Massive swing in momentum. Give us the market reaction angle. How do teams psychologically handle a sudden...
That's a trading halt reopening with a gap down. Everyone's game plan gets repriced in one whistle. Exactly. Leo, this is a headline drop that flips the tape. You thought you had the breakout, then new info hits and the market marks it back down instantly. The key is who keeps discipline after the whipsaw, because that's when the next real trend starts.
VAR wipes out the goal for handball. Massive momentum swing. Give us the market analogy. How does a review like this mirror a sudden reversal after new information hits? Arnautovic is absolutely... It's 1-1 and you can feel the nerves crackling now. Every touch suddenly weighs a ton and they're pleading for Andre like he's the missing piece of the puzzle. If he's not back soon, this could swing in a heartbeat. One all, and the tension's thick enough to cut with a stud. They're begging for Andre to return like he's the last lifeboat, because without him, this game feels like it's teetering on the edge.
That VAR swing just nuked Austria from a comfy favorite to basically a coin flip with the draw now leading. Classic momentum reversal. But look at those huge ask walls across all outcomes. Liquidity's there, yet sellers are...
Still 1-1, and you can hear that anxious chorus. Andre, please, like a chant to summon a savior. This is the kind of moment where one absence feels like a red card and one spark flips the whole script. All right, no frills. Still 1-1, and it's scrappy, edgy, and hanging by a thread. And you're right, the players are freelancing out there. Someone needs to grab the wheel before this turns into chaos. Still 1, no change. The play's loose and undisciplined. Too many players going off script, and it's turning into a mess. Someone needs to slow it down and take control. We're back in the Bay Area. Austria, Jordan locked at 1-1, and Arnautovic...
Yep, that's an earnings beat getting restated 5 minutes later. Same company, totally different price. Austria's players are trading on emotion right now, and that's when you see sloppy fouls and overcommits, like chasing a gap move.
1-1 still, and we're wading through the ad break fog here. IBM, Dove, the whole parade, while the match simmers in the background. Get us back to the pitch, because this feels like it's ready to boil over the moment play resumes.
Markets basically price this as draw is the base case with Austria still live, but the book is screaming overhead supply. Ask depth dwarfs bids, so any Austria pop could get sold hard. Big money's split too. You've got heavy Austria bears around. That's a stock ripping on a rumor, then the official filing drops and the move gets erased in one candle. The crowd goes from FOMO to frustration instantly, and that emotional whiplash is where mistakes and counterattacks get born.
We're still stuck in commercial land, glow moisturizing cream the lot, while Austria and Jordan are itching to get back at each other 8-1-1. Cut the soap opera and give us the real drama on the grass. VAR wipes out a would-be go-ahead goal for handball after a long review. Huge momentum swing. Give me a quick market reaction analogy for the crowd. VAR wipes out a would-be 2-1 after a long review.
Nailed it. This is review risk in real time. The market trades the move, then the regulator steps in and reprices everything. Exactly. Halt ends and the tape reopens. Yeah, that's peak market whiplash. Headline hits, gets corrected, then corrected again, and nobody trusts the price for it. Totally. When the ref looks screen-led, it's like traders outsourcing conviction to an algorithm, and the whole tape reprices in seconds. That kind of whipsaw drains composure fast. The team that stays disciplined usually wins the next phase.
VAR chaos just flipped it. Goal given after all. Feels like a market reversal after a trading halt. Jump in with that analogy and what it does to momentum. VAR chaos. Goal first chalked off for handball after a long review, then overturned and given massive swing. Give us your take on how these review reversals feel like market whiplash for momentum and psychology. IMO, VAR just flipped a handball call into a massive goal. Referee Aida looked boxed in by the screen. Feels like a market whipsaw. One review and the whole game reprices. VAR just flipped a huge goal from disallowed to allowed on a marginal handball. Crowds boiling. Give us your market volatility take. How refs get put in impossible positions and momentum swings like a stock spike.
Yeah, that's like a thinly traded stock. One marginal print, and suddenly you've got a full-blown squeeze with the crowd screaming. The ref's in the same spot as an exchange on a bad tick. Make a call either way, and you're moving the whole market.
IMO, VR just flipped a massive handball call. Goal stands after chaos. Feels like a market whipsaw. How do you price referee risk when the rules feel elastic?
Exactly. When rules feel elastic, you price it like policy risk. Wider spreads, smaller position sizes, and less faith in the first move. In these moments, momentum traders get chopped up, and the calm value side usually survives the swing.
Three own goals already. This tournament's got more.
Yep, that's a full-on mean reversion. One fairness bounce, then the market overcorrects and snaps back to level on a freak print. Momentum's now with the side that keeps shape. The other risks tilting and giving up the next cheap turnover.
VAR drama and a big swing. Austria feel justice served after the allowed goal, and now an own goal levels it. Feels like a market correction after a bad call. Give us your take on momentum shifts.
Absolutely. This is the market correcting a misprice in real time. Sentiment flips, then the scoreboard relabels the move like an earnings restatement. The danger now is overtrading the emotion. The team that stays clinical gets the next edge.
We've got controversy turning into justice served. Austria respond fast, and it's been reclassified as an own goal. Give us your take. Does that feel like the market correcting after a bad call?
Austria's priced like the game's basically over at 27 or 8.
Oh, that's a gut punch. One moment you're celebrating, next it's chalked off and you're staring at that disallowed goal is a real momentum thief. Jordan's bench will be fuming, but they can't let it spill onto the pitch. These are the minutes where you defend with your brain as much as your legs, just soak it up and stay alive. You can admire the chaos, but Messi won't be admiring any own goal helping his numbers. He wants it off his boot, signed and sealed. Still, it's a funny old race for top scorer when the defenders are chipping in like they're on the payroll. That own goal nudging Messi back toward top scorer is the kind of stat that makes accountants smile and superstars shrug. Try telling Leo it counts. He'll look at you like you've offered him a plastic Ballon d'Or. He wants the net to ripple from his left foot, nothing else. Here come the changes. Fresh legs, fresh substitutions with purpose. This is the manager rolling the dice and telling Jordan, go and take it. Mahmoud and Mahdi coming on. You can feel the urgency in the air. One good run, one brave pass, and the whole tournament mood flips. Live tables tight. You can see it in the body language. This isn't just a swap, it's a statement. We're not done here. Mahmoud and Mahdi have got to bring that spark instantly, because one moment of bravery now could keep Jordan's tournament heartbeat thumping.
Yeah, this group feels like a choppy tape where every headline candle rewrites the leaderboard. Own goals are basically fat finger trades. When points are tied, everyone plays not to lose, and that's when one random bounce becomes the closing auction.
11 minutes left. This is the dangers. And there's Patrick Wimmer getting the nod. Fresh pace, fresh mischief. Exactly what you throw on when you want to stretch a tired back line. That's a signal from Austria. They're not settling. They're hunting for the killer blow. Austria try to knit that little triangle together, but the flag bails the defenders out. Breathing space at last. Now it's all about discipline. Hold the line, don't get dragged, because one lapse and you're chasing shadows. More changes for Jordan. This is the last roll of the dice, trying to inject belief and a bit of chaos into the final minutes. Fresh legs can be magic, but they've got to click immediately or the clock just eats you alive. Jordan going back to the bench again, trying to find that one spark that flips the script in the dying moments. But every substitution is also a little reset for Austria, so Jordan have to hit the ground sprinting, not settling.
Totally. Subs are your late catalyst, like a surprise guidance tweak that forces everyone to reprice in 5 minutes. Fresh legs press higher, volatility.
Mahdi's on the menu now for Jordan. Experience, quality, someone who can calm it and then sting.
Yep, that's the blue chip sub. One clean touch can gap the price.
Jordan will fancy Mahdi here. He's the kind of veteran who can turn one touch into a chance and suddenly the whole stadium leans forward. Wimmer's got a point to prove now. Relegation. Wimmer's stepping in with that second chance energy after a rough club season. This is where you rewrite the story in bold ink. And Friday on Fox, USA Australia in the group stage, Eastern, AMO. That's a primetime volatility match if I've ever seen one. Jordan making late changes feels like a last-ditch push. Any quick market-style take on how subs can swing momentum like a late catalyst? IMO, Jordan bring on Mahdi. Experienced quality option. Feels like a late blue chip injection. Can one premium touch change the whole outcome, or is it too late for the market to react?
Austria's still pinned at 88%, but that ask wall has thinned a lot. Sellers are taking profit, not pressing, which keeps the price sticky. The draw book remains a graveyard of offers, so unless Jordan lands a real chance, this stays like a team killing the clock with possession.
Schlager's punch there looks shaky, like a stock wobbling on bad volume. Jordan bringing on Mahdi feels like a late catalyst. Any quick take on how experience changes momentum like market sentiment? Schlager comes a mile for it and just about gets a fist on. More survival punch than statement, that one. And look at Jordan tinkering. Mahdi popping up in a weird pocket, but that in-swinger from the left is the real danger, begging for a touch in the 6-yard box. Schlager's punch was all arms and nerves. He got away with it, but you can feel the wobble in Austria's backline. And Jordan's smelling it now. That left-footed in-swinger is a banana peel for defenders. One flick and it's chaos.
Austria's win price is basically stuck, but look at that swelling sell-side depth. More folks lining up to cash out than to chase higher. That's late game, protect the lead behavior. One scary Jordan attack and you'll see a quick wobble into the draw. Big tell here, Austria bid depth just collapsed, so the support under 0.87 is way thinner if anything goes wrong. Price hasn't moved yet, but this is like a backline on a yellow. One breakaway and you get a sharp, ugly repricing.
You can feel the buzz in the air. Bay Area crowd bringing that electricity like the stadium's plugged straight into... That little touch into Ali Alwan is pure invitation. He's already got one. And you can sense the defenders tightening up like they've seen this movie before. And here come Azai and Al Dawood, fresh ammo on the touchline. Jordan are not settling for what they've got.
And just like that, the Austria bid depth refilled. Buyers stepped back in to defend 0.87, so the favorites back in control. Still, the draw side is all air on bids and heavy on offers, so any late drama will move fast but may not stick.
The energy's spilling out of the stands, Seattle to the Bay. It's like the whole West Coast has turned up for this. Ali Orawan tries to thread the needle, but Scurry reads it early and snuffs it out before it turns into trouble. Jordan are turning the screw now, fresh legs, full throttle down that right flank, and you can hear the belief growing with every run. Austria just trying to ride out the storm, but it feels like one more chance is loading, like a wave pulling back before it crashes.
Austria's probability ticks down a hair, and you can see why. Bid depth is fading again, so confidence is a bit more fragile at these highs. Draws still priced cheap, but with almost no real buying support, so it's a momentum trade, not a value hold. Like a counter.
Cheery is the next outlet, and you can feel Jordan still pushing for that final punch rather than shaking hands with a point. Whatever the result, they've shown real bite tonight. This is the kind of performance that makes opponents look over their shoulder.
Austria ticks up to 0.88, 0.89, but the tape's screaming distribution with sell depth now dwarfing bids. People are taking profits into strength. That's a team up a goal killing the clock. It works until one sloppy clearance, and then the market snaps back fast.
Absolutely. Against Algeria, they'll circle it like a must-win because everyone knows Argentina is the storm you try to survive, not control. And look at the West Asian sides here. Fearless, front foot, playing like they belong on this stage, not just visiting. IMO, West Asian teams showing real ambition. Any parallels with underdog markets taking on giants? Quick take on momentum and belief translating to performance.
Absolutely. Leo, this is classic underdog market behavior. Belief is the liquidity, and one good sequence pulls in late chasers fast. But if the favorite steadies, that momentum can evaporate like a counterattack that dies on the final pass.
Austria are emptying the tank now. Last 5 minutes, and it's all hands on deck. Balls flying into the mixer. Chaos hunting for a touch. Jordan have to keep. Big reshuffle from Jordan. Fresh legs on, and you can feel they're trying to squeeze one last burst out of this game. Antamari's looked a step heavy after the break, so this is the coach rolling the dice with minutes ticking away. Will Carmen can stretch this like a rubber band. One switch, and suddenly the whole pitch opens up. Jordan are ringing the changes. This is the manager hitting the reset button with the clock screaming at him. Antamari's faded in the second half, and with a few minutes left, these subs have to bring instant spark or it's curtains. Carmen's got that quarterback vision. One pass and the whole picture changes at either end. But they've got to breathe on the ball because Zabiti's prowling like a shark, ready to punish the slightest panic touch. That ball asked a nasty question of the Jordan defense, and they just about scribbled the... Austria are sitting pretty now, 2-1 up, and you can feel Jordan running out of road as the clock bleeds away. Akuri's done for the night, and with Wash back up, Austria will fancy seeing this out with a bit of swagger. We've got a late stoppage with 2 players down. Games paused. Austria 2-1 up. Give us your market close take. How do teams manage risk and kill the clock when they're protecting a narrow lead?
Yep, this is the protect the book phase. Austria's priority is minimizing variance, not maximizing upside, so expect slower tempo and safer possessions. Markets do the same. De-risk, widen spreads, and force the underdog to take low percentage shots.
That little slip of possession looked harmless, then bang, stoppage with bodies on the turf and the physios earning their money. Meanwhile, the ball's trying to sneak into his ear, but everyone's forced to hit pause. This break could totally reset the final push. Comfortable? Not a chance. Austria might be ahead, but this has been a proper scrap with Jordan biting at their heels. Everyone thought it'd be cruise control, but it's been more like driving in a storm with the wipers failing. Absolutely. Jordan have put a big red circle around their name after this. They've got teeth and they're not afraid to show them. If Algeria are watching, they'll be thinking, hang on, this isn't a free 3 points because Jordan will make it ugly and dangerous. Oh, that's the kind of moment that lives in your book. 10 added minutes. Oh, that's an eternity in football time, and Austria will feel every second of it. 2-1. East Coast folks, keep the coffee on because this has late drama written all over it. Ten minutes on the board, this is still wide open, and Austria 2-1 will be clinging on like it's a cliff edge. If you're on the East Coast, don't you dare blink because one swing and we're in chaos. Ten minutes of stoppage time, football's version of overtime and a thriller, and Austria 8-1 are suddenly defending their dreams. East Coast, stay up with us because this feels like it's got one more twist left in it. Austria chasing a huge national moment here. Can you riff on the big for Austria angle like a market catalyst, pressure, expectations, and what a win does for confidence?
Totally. When it's big for Austria, expectations become the catalyst and the risk. Everyone crowds the same trade, so nerves show up in sloppy execution. If they see it out, confidence compounds like a breakout closing at the highs. Now that's a momentum flip. Austria's bid stack is back in force and the sell side basically vanished, so price can levitate on air from 0.911 to 0.92. Draw and Jordan look like abandoned trades with massive offers and no real bids, like a team.
Vammer's trying to put his foot on the ball and choke the life out of this, but the Czechs are still sniffing around like wolves in the dark. Vana swings it in. Here we go. This is the kind of delivery that can turn a nation upside down in one touch. Mammer wants to put Austria in a straitjacket. Give me it for 10 minutes and I'll suffocate this. But the Czechs keep knocking on the door. Vana whips the cross in and suddenly every heartbeat in that box is a drum roll.
Austria is still priced like a near lock, 0.91, 0.92, but notice the ask wall rebuilt. Sell depth is back, so upside gets capped unless fresh buyers step in. That giant 24-1 bid stack is basically parking the bus liquidity. It looks
Jovic hits it, but it's right down the keeper's throat. Abulela says not today, and that's a let-off Austria can't keep buying. With this mountain of stoppage time, one clean chance could flip the whole script, and Jordan are making this feel like a final whistle that refutes. Imo, this is getting spicy, big complaints, a clumsy challenge with no ball, and it feels like a potential penalty or flashpoint in stoppage time. Give me your market volatility take. How do teams manage risk when one decision can crash the whole result?
Yep, this is pure event risk. One whistle is a gap-down candle and everything reprices instantly. Smart teams stop diving into tackles, keep shape, and clear danger like a trader cutting leverage into a headline.
We've got a huge controversy brewing. Nasty challenge in the box, no ball, players screaming for a decision. Give me your market crash take. Is this a penalty moment that swings the whole value of the game?
This is the ultimate binary catalyst. One VAR whistle and the whole game reprices like a stock on an earnings miss. Austria needs to avoid the second mistake. Don't crowd the ref, reset shape, and treat every touch like protecting a one-goal lead in the 90+.
Absolutely, Imo. This is pure market panic territory. One whistle and the whole stadium gaps down. Austria can't waste energy lobbying. They've got to snap back into shape and manage the ball like it's the last safe asset on earth. Austria ride their luck there. 2 touches, a little wobble from Abulela, and suddenly the air goes thin. He hesitated, changed the script mid-sentence, and that's when danger bites. Now Zabita stands over it. This could be the moment. Lamer climbs and absolutely lashes the volley. He's trying to tear the net off from up there. And 5 own goals in the tournament already. It's like the ball's got a mischievous streak, picking sides when nobody asked it to. Lamer rises and goes for the Hollywood volley, just a fraction too high, but you can feel the crowd inhale. And 5 own goals already in this tournament. The ball's turning into a prankster, isn't it? Lamer gets up there and swings at it on the volley. Ambitious, violent, and just sailing over. And 5 own goals in the tournament now. Defenders are scoring like it's a loyalty test gone wrong. 5-20 is wild. This tournament's got Ricochet written all over it. Chibuemeka finds Vimmer in that sweet pocket, and you can see him licking his lips, but El Mahdi's little bit of flair gets swallowed up before it sparks.
Austria's ticking up to 0.93, but look at that heavy offer overhead. 321k on the ask and a chunky 0.999 wall, so the market's saying likely not done. In stoppage time terms, this is a team protecting a 1-goal lead. Any VAR moment and that's...
Austria are squeezing now, pinning them in the corner. Austria are managing this like seasoned pros, ball in the right areas, clock as their best teammate, celebrating a throw-in tells you everything. Austria have got them exactly where they want them, suffocating pressure, little wins turning into big moments. When a throw-in gets celebrated like that, you know it's trench warfare, and the yellow's just adrenaline leaking out as they edge toward the finish line. And there he is again, Solskjaer popping up like a ghost at the back post, always sniffing, always ready. You can feel the defenders getting twitchy now because he only needs 1 blink of space. El Mahdi trying to sprinkle a bit of magic, and then bang, Solskjaer is in the picture again like he's got a map to the danger zone. The backline can't switch off for a second or he'll punish them. They tried to switch it out to Al Jawad on the right. He was begging for it, but the pass just wouldn't come, and that's a massive let-off. Now Zabitsa's snapping back into shape, trying to slam the door before the next wave hits. Al Jawad was out there with acres of space, waving for the ball, and they just couldn't thread the needle. What a missed invitation. Zabitsa's doing the dirty work now, keeping it tight and refusing to let the tempo run away.
Austria just got marked up again, 0.95, 0.96, with win odds at 96%. That's the market basically calling full-time. But the tell is the draw bid thinning hard. If any late chaos hits, there's not much liquidity to absorb a sudden repricing.
That ball across had a bit of hope in it, but it drifts into no man's land, and Austria breathe again as it's shepherded out. Jordan have been all heart, but Austria just want the final whistle. And look at Weimar Hallerud, the big center half, lumbering up front. Here we go. Jordan are emptying the tank now. It's all or nothing. Danzo's got to be brave and clean here because 1 loose touch and Austria can nick it on the break, but 1 good delivery and it's chaos in the box. Jordan are going full kitchen sink now, and Danzo's right in the eye of the storm. 1 clearance, 1 header, 1 ricochet. This is where legs turn to jelly and heroes get made in a heartbeat. IMO, Jordan are going all in here. Total kitchen sink football. Give me a quick market analogy. Is this like a late session rally or a desperate short squeeze?
Yeah, that's a classic desperation squeeze attempt, throwing bodies forward to force 1 messy print that flips the tape. But when the book's this thin on the upset side, it's usually a quick spike or nothing, like a last-minute Hail Mary.
It's a short one, and suddenly it's scrappy. Chubukovic are wrestling it under pressure, and you can feel the nerves crackling in the air. 97 on the clock, Austrian hearts in their mouths, while Jordan keeps swinging like they've got 1 more punch left. That delivery dies short, and it turns into a street fight. Chubukovic trying to tame it with Bates snapping at his heels. 97 minutes, and if you're wearing red, white, red, your watch is lying to you. Jordan are still roaring, Austria just clinging on for dear life. Zabic slips it out, and you can see the runners sniffing blood. Dobic darting central, Chubukovic hovering like a shark. But Austria hit the brakes, squeeze the air out of it, and Zabic starts conducting again, trying to kill this storm with calm.
Now it's basically a victory lap. Austria 0.97, 0.98, and the ass depth collapsed to just 28k, so there's barely any resistance left. Draw liquidity is a ghost town on the bid, which screams no one wants that late equalizer risk at these prices.
Zabic pops it off, and the movement's there. Dobic flashing into the middle, Chubukovic arriving with intent. Then they put the handbrake on, and Marcel Zabic starts dictating the rhythm, trying to turn chaos into control. Oh, I'm thrilled they did. This has been pure World Cup electricity, the kind that makes your coffee unnecessary. Zabica threads of beauty, and Jovic and Kremeka play give and go, and suddenly Austria are purring again, looking for that killer touch. Absolutely, days like this are why we show up. It's been fireworks from breakfast to bedtime. Zabica splits them with a gorgeous ball. Anjovic links with Kremeka and gets it back, and you can feel the attack winding up like a spring. Anjovic. Oh, that was the moment to slam the door shut. The ball drops like a gift. The touch is velvet. The composure is ice cold. And then the finish just doesn't bite, and Jordan are still breathing. Imo. That Anjovic chance was a near game ender. Austria finally showing composure after a shaky spell. Feels like a momentum swing. Got any market sentiment take on how one missed finish can flip risk appetite on the pitch?
Absolutely. One big miss like that is a failed breakout. It doesn't score, but it tells everyone the buyers are back in control. You see risk appetite return instantly, like a team pushing the line higher after surviving a scare, and the other side starts.
Imo, we've got a handball debate brewing. Lower hand versus upper hand on a slide. Crowds roaring. Give us your risk management take. Is this a penalty or play on?
That's pure tail risk, Leo. Most of the time it's play on, but the one whistle changes the whole P&L in a second. Markets hate this kind of discretionary call. Everyone de-risks because the ref is basically the central bank here.
Imo, we've got a classic handball debate here. Lower hand on the turf versus the arm moving to the ball. Give us your market reaction take. Is this a clear penalty or just noise?
I'm leaning noise unless VAR shows the arm actively seeking the ball, because the market only reprices hard on clear, repeatable signals. This feels like a headline spike that fades, but if the ref points to the spot, it's an instant gap move.
Imo, Austria just nailed the penalty, 3-1, game basically sealed. Give me your closing bell take. How does a late spot kick like that shift momentum and risk appetite in a match?
That pen is the closing print. Once it hits, the comeback trade gets liquidated and everyone stops paying up for chaos. Momentum flips from maybe to manage the clock, like a team protecting a 2-goal lead and running out the tape.
Full-time whistle and Austria take it 3-1, but wow, that scoreline flatters them a bit. Georgia made them sweat for long spells. Still, that late finish is the icing on the cake, 3 points in the bag, and they march on. And that's the final whistle in the Bay Area. Austria win it 3-1 over Georgia. The score looks comfy, but it was a bumpy ride at times. Still, they've got the points, and that's what goes in the book.
This is as full-time whistle as it gets. Austria pinned 8 $100 with 0 offers, so there's no price discovery left, just settlement. Draw in Jordan sitting at 0.00 is the market tossing those tickets in the bin and walking out early. Austria's basically locked at 1 with a wall of bids and no asks. This is the market already shaking hands after the final whistle. The only drama left is the I can't believe I shorted this ATC 30 crowd getting carried off the pitch on a stretcher.
Imo, Austria's debut win ends 3-1. Scoreline looks comfy, but the performance was patchy. Give us your market close take. Who gained value, who looked overbought, and what's the risk going forward?
Yeah, the result's a clean close, but the tape shows some sloppy turnovers. Austria's price got marked up on finishing, not control. They're a bit overbought if you expect repeat dominance. The risk is a sharper opponent punishes those gaps before the next late.
Austria back on the World Cup stage, and they've marked it with a win after all those years. That's a moment to savor. And if Argentina are already ticking over like reigning champs, you can feel this tournament warming up nicely, IMO, like markets on a green day. Yeah, spot on. 3 points is the headline, but that back door was left ajar a few too many times. Against Argentina, you give an inch, they take a mile, and then charge you interest. IMO, this is where the risk management has to kick in.
Order books frozen. Austria AT1 and Dralan with a $5 million bid stack and nobody selling, so the market's treating this like a done deal. The fun footnote is those early bears 8, 0.29, 0.30. Classic faded the winner and got...
Exactly. Win your opener and suddenly the whole group table looks friendlier, doesn't it? But confidence can't turn into complacency because the next test is a heavyweight and they'll sniff out any sloppy moments in a heartbeat. Austria have put their flag in the ground. 3 points, a bit of swagger, and a whole lot of belief. And if today's anything to go by, this World Cup serving drama by the bucket. Stay with us. More fireworks on the way. Austria are back and they've cashed in immediately. 3 points in the bag and the dream's alive. And if today's matches are the appetizer, the main course is going to be spicy. Stick around. We're about to roll straight into more World Cup chaos.
Nothing's changed. Austria's still a hard one-hour with no sellers, so liquidity's one way and the market's already filed the paperwork. Those draw and Jordan asks 8 CI0 are just the last fans hanging around the stadium after the lights go out.
Hold on, listen to that roar. Something's bubbling here. That whoa is the sound of a stadium sensing chaos, like the ball's about to drop in the mixer and nobody's got a seatbelt on. You can feel the tension through the screen. Everyone's holding their breath like a penalty's about to be taken. If this is the vibe heading into the next segment, Amo, we might need a volatility index for the World Cup. IMO, this crowd's going full whoa like a market circuit breaker. What's your volatility take when momentum swings this fast?
Totally. When momentum flips that fast, volatility isn't a bug, it's the feature. Like a counterattack game where one bad touch becomes a goal. The key is liquidity. Once the book thins, prices gap and everyone feels whiplash at the same time. We're still in a post-game market. Austria pinned at 1 with a massive bid stack and 0 offers, so price discovery is basically over. The only real trade left is shorts quietly buying back at terrible levels, like chasing the striker after he's already done the celebration.
And there's the ad break trying to dribble it into the top corner. $17.76 a year. That's a price tag with a bit of history on it. IMO, that's a subscription play straight out of the value bundle playbook. Now get us back to the football. We've gone from FoxNation.com straight into Bosley. This broadcast is making more substitutions than a manager chasing a game. One day, real hair back permanently. IMO, that's the kind of turnaround investors dream of. Now, can we get back to the pitch?